What's going on, guys? This is John from PDC European Nights. We're here on a Wednesday after crazy 2 days in Champions League. And I got a full crew. Well, usually it's just me and Juvie for the first episode, but we have two special guests from Educatance. We got Alex Gutierrez. Go ahead, Alex.
Oh, what's up, guys? What's up, man? Yeah, Alex Gutierrez. I'm back. These guys are trying to jump me in the gang, so I'm here. La Primera lives.
So real quick, if you want to give your plug for your podcast.
Oh, yeah. So I have my own little podcast that we do, educating. So we're everywhere, Spotify, everywhere, Instagram. So we're trying to collab as much as we can. We're out here. I'm out here in Sacramento, so Northern California, capital.
Nice. We also got the star of PDC, or I'm sorry, there's no more PDC podcast. There's actually Liga MX podcast, Rafael Alvarez.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm glad to be back. Yeah, ready to go.
Yeah. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah.
And
It's been a
then
minute, but
yeah, it has. And then we have the actual one of the creators of the PDC network and Daniel, one of Daniel's good friends, Juvenal Rodriguez, co-star of this show.
AKA El Juvi.
If you didn't know, you know how you self-promote yourself and everything. When we started the podcast page, the very first one on Juvi's bio, he put star of Pactos de Caballero podcast.
No, never.
But
that's right. That's something that I did hear about. There's a very strong rumor going around.
Nah. It's all lies. All lies by John. That's it.
Self-confidence, man. But let's get it started. Yesterday's game, Porto versus Juventus I'm sorry. Yeah. Porto versus Juventus. And do or die for Juve. They have a stacked team, especially with Cristiano Ronaldo's experience and Alvaro Morata's too, being part of those Madrid teams that won champions. This would be, if I'm not mistaken, the second or third year that Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't qualify further than the octavos, right? If I'm not mistaken. And big props to Tecatito after getting injured during the weekend, getting walked out of the field with a head injury. He comes back and he's in the starting lineup, man, and he performed. So I don't know what's your guys' take. Alex, you are a guest of honor today, so I'll give you the reins.
I mean, I don't catch too many Champions League, but ever since you told me to be involved with it, I started doing more. I mean, it's just so many games, but definitely when the Mexicans play, I'm involved. Yeah, man, it was just a long game. I just kept looking back at the score. I was watching a little bit here and there between work, and I mean, Tecatito, like you said, he did his job. I mean, it's kind of like for his position, it's not like he could be with the ball the whole time, right? It's something that he whenever he's there, and I've kind of criticized him in the past with Mexico that sometimes you don't see him even participate, but right here he definitely played a lot. I mean, it was like 100 and something minutes, right? Like it was crazy to think that, and so I don't know. It was just they had that heart. Porto just more scrappy than La Juve, La Juve, whatever you want to call them, and I mean that last goal was kind of weird, right? The La Barrera shouldn't jump, and people are criticizing on Twitter that the away goals shouldn't count overtime, right? Because they have more minutes on an away game, but that's up for discussion. But yeah, either way, man, I'm not really a Cristiano Ronaldo fan. I know you are, so either way, he could exit any door.
John cried when he left Madrid, man.
This is very true. And I don't hide it. Favorite player, but I think that this team wasn't built around Ronaldo like the Madrid teams were, and I don't think that he himself is used to that. The Italian league is more physical, more technically defensive in my eyes. So for him to go against a Porto that likes to play with the ball, that likes to attack, I think Juve was really surprised with that, right? I don't think they were ready for that tidal wave, though they played their hearts out, and they were, like you said, they were very scrappy for Juve to stay in the game. You know, they were Porto scores first, and Juve scores a beautiful goal. And then, you know, controversial red in my eyes. I don't know if you guys agree with that. Off the
Well,
in
I
the
think the
first-
whole game eventually got chippy, you know, towards the end, and
Yeah.
and I think that's the beginning of it, you know. You know, for the rest of the game, I saw a lot of plays that I was not okay with, you know, but you know, you gotta live and die by those. But yeah, man, I don't know how you guys see it.
No, yeah, absolutely. And Juve had in the first half, they had a lot to take over the game, especially after they wrecked up that red card to Octavio, but they just couldn't capitalize, man. You know, at what point do you blame Pirlo? Because his tactics kept them in the game.
I don't think you blame Pirlo, man. I think you blame the players at that point, because and then also, you know, we also got to give props to Marchesín. That guy was, you know, pretty much it was because of him, you know, combined with Pepe. Also, I can't deny, you know, Pepe looked like the Pepe in Madrid. You know, like he was doing everything. He was getting the ball out. But you know, I think at that point it just becomes part of the an issue with the players. They forgot to play, and then they just started committing dumb fouls. You know, as the players that were coming in pretty much immediately got yellow cards. You know, it's like they basically, La Juve was doing everything they can just to try to physically enforce themselves on Porto, you know, and they forgot to play towards the end of
Yeah,
it.
good
And
point.
I think
Very
that's
good
what
point.
bit him on the ass, you know.
Rafa, were you surprised that Cristiano Ronaldo was pretty much shut down?
Well, he had opportunities just like everybody else did. I feel like Juve said, Marchesín had a lot to do with that. You know, he kept the clean sheet for as long as he could. After that, you know, Porto's a scrappy team. Like you said with Pepe, he had a lot of clearances. Even at his age, 38 years old, he still, you know, keeps himself in good shape and kept those attackers on check, like you said, Ronaldo. I think they just held on long enough, even with the red card. Uh, and then, you know, they got a nice goal. We can talk about the wall jumping here and there, but I don't know. It depends on the keeper. Usually some keepers say don't jump at all or jump or whatever, but I feel like they should have stayed on the ground. And
But then,
something goes over the top and goes in the top corner. That's special, you know. But
yeah, but I feel like Chesney could have gotten that one. I don't know about you guys.
yeah,
It wasn't that like, yeah, it wasn't that brilliant of a shot either. But yeah, it's like, you know, I was a keeper my whole life, and I would tell my guys, I would tell them to jump. I wasn't tripping, but I know you're saying, I was saying, you know, some goalies say don't jump, and like I said, I don't think that was a crazy shot like Ronaldinho when he tried it under the wall. It wasn't like that, you know. It was just a shot hard, and like you said, the keeper could have done a little more. I think he
Like,
definitely was surprised.
I think he went the wrong way just at the beginning a little bit. Like I think
Yeah.
he saw it late too. So by the time he got there, he just wasn't strong enough.
Yeah, he hesitated. If you look at the play again, he does a little jump, and like you said, Rafa, I don't think he was too sure where that was gonna go. You know,
Hey,
but
we got to give props to Oliveira for even trying that. I mean,
Mhm.
at that point, you
Yeah.
got to try something. You're tied. You're going to PKs possibly. Try a shot. Try it on goal. It's just like like Wayne Gretzky said, you don't take the shot, you don't score.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very true. No, and you know what? That free kick was one of Ronaldo's pages book. He used to kick him on the floor when he used to be in the EPL. Woo, back in the day. But yeah, good for Porto, man. I'm happy that at least one of the Mexican players has advanced, and I think they're gonna do good. I'm not saying that they're favorite because PSG looks good, and that's kind of where I want to go into the next game. PSG Barcelona. I don't know if you guys caught that one, but the first half was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I was able to watch. Well, I'm a Barca fan, so I was able to watch most of it. But
I'm
between
sorry.
that and running around chasing my son during my lunch break. But yeah, I was able to watch most of it for sure. Once it got, where I saw time ticking away. Once Messi missed the PK, it was over. But before that,
Yeah.
I think it was there was obviously a chance. Everyone was looking back and like, oh, Barca can come back. They kept playing that video all over social media. They came back last time. It's like, okay, that was a different Barca, also, and that was a different PSG. But definitely like giving up 4 goals the first time, it's like, bro, what is this, Cruz Azul? La van a Cruz Azular, and Champions League. A little shout out to Danny, but like only Cruz Azul could do that, right? Again, so PSG is not wearing, they're not wearing that blue. It's a different blue.
Eh,
I'm just happy it wasn't me this time.
oh yeah.
I was thinking the same thing about the blue, but I was thinking about Chelsea blue and how Messi couldn't score on Chelsea.
There
Yeah.
you go.
But yeah, man. The first one, was it a PK for PSG?
When he stepped on his foot,
The first.
yeah, I mean his shoe came off. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
tough.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like those off the ball, like off the play, sort of play like foul. I think it's more like a indirect sort of thing. But I
Yeah.
mean, I guess any little thing, like we said on the other show, it counts as a PK.
So
Yeah.
let me ask you, how hard did you yell that goal, the Lionel Messi goal?
Me?
Yeah.
See,
No,
I'm a
you're-
Barca
you're-
fan, but I
you're-
don't get that. I don't get that excited. I mean, I'm not like a huge I don't have Messi posters. I'm not gonna cry when he leaves. I'm not like that. But
Yo tampoco.
I fell in love with Barca because
Yo tampoco. De ese way no.
oh, okay, no, but I fell in love with Barca when it was just that whole. I told you before that the whole movement. When Rafa was there and Gio, not the Rafa, but the real Rafa, and then the Gio and everybody. No, but so yes, I'm a Messi guy because I'm not, Cristiano Ronaldo fan, pero I'm not gonna, I don't know, no me duele really when Barcelona loses or wins. It's just kind of, I'm just a fan. If I'm gonna pick, that's my team I'm gonna roll with. But yeah, it was a golazo, man. I mean, straight up golazo, those ones that the goalies are not gonna get to because he hits it, the ball just flows, right? Le pega como seco, and the ball just it went out. The
One of
curve,
those
you know
Michael
that.
Fabian ones, right? When he was in his young.
Honestly, a little Fabianish, against Alemania and the Confederation, where you just hit it and it floats, that deadly little float. And yeah, it was definitely going away from the keeper. That was nasty.
From Keylor Navas. And you know what? Props to Keylor Navas because he recouped with blocking that PK with his left.
That was a whack
thigh.
shot. Like Messi doesn't shoot
Come on,
PKs
man.
like that. No, he doesn't shoot PK. That's whack. That was a whack.
Yeah, he's hit or miss. Sometimes he just just whatever, and sometimes he actually places them.
Yeah.
When he places them, they're really good. But yeah, that one was weak.
But then my question, we
Hey,
got
you guys
two
are taking-
keepers.
Dale, Juby, dale.
My question, we got 2 keepers. Do you guys? So if you let the same guy shoot, is that should you do that or should you switch it up? Like for you guys, what do you guys prefer? Like
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
The same guy
So-
who got fouled, or
no, like so el tirador de penales.
Uh-huh.
Do you like it when it's does it make it easier when it's the same guy shooting both penales, or like do you switch it up on the portero by having, let's say, Messi take one and then
oh,
Well,
go ahead, Rafa.
well, let me tell you my experience because in every team that I play on, usually no one wants to take the PK, and I'm usually the one that's like, give me the ball, But that's just me. It depends on the player. So I feel like most teams they have a designated guy, and he's the one that's is kind of like cold-hearted. It's gonna go up there and just do it,
Mhm.
But it just depends on the player because I usually go the same way. There's some players that are, they can choose wherever they want to go, left side,
Yeah.
right side, top corner, down the middle, whatever they want. It just depends on the player.
Yeah, and I think some coaches, like I used to hate coaches that would assign the player because like Rafa said, some people don't want to shoot. So I hated when, in college or high school and club, and our coaches would tell, okay, these 3 guys are shooting. He's like, bro, but they didn't ask you to shoot. They don't want to shoot it. Or like, just because they're the best player,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't consider myself the best player, but I wanted to shoot. Like, I want to score a goal. I've been practicing PK since I was 4. Like, I'm down, So I didn't like when coaches choose. So I don't know. Messi, I guess, kind of just has that. He is who he is. He has to take it. It's almost like if he doesn't take it and somebody else misses, like, oh, why didn't Messi take it? So like, I don't think he's like in a lose-lose situation to begin with. He's gonna have to take the shot. Like regardless. But like you're saying, should you switch it up? I mean, yeah, technically, you could, right? If you had 2 PKs in one game, why not have someone else shoot it? You know what I mean? I've seen we've seen that happen in other games where it's like, let someone else do it, or because like you said, Keylor Navas has seen these PKs from him so many times already, and obviously, once Messi goes up there against him again or whatever, he starts triple guessing himself, like, oh, I went this way. It's just too much. And like you said, you don't want to repeat the same PK again in the same game, or I don't know. I guess it could have been easier just let someone else take the second one. It's easier
Well,
that way.
in my experience, I wouldn't have given it to anybody else, whether it be the first one, second one, or third one. But that's just my ego talking. There's some
Yeah.
players that have even bigger ego than I do. So
Neri
I don't know, it
Castillo
just
over there
depends.
fighting for the ball. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
You remember that? You remember that when he was
Yeah.
fighting for the ball? Yeah, Man City, right?
Yeah. No. It was with Shakhtar in the.
Was Shakhtar or was it with Man City?
No, it was with
He was
Shakhtar.
he was getting hella mad. Yeah, he wanted it. So I don't know. I guess there's no really right way. I guess what they say, a PK well taken goes in, right? So
Yeah.
it
It
wasn't
has
well
to be
taken.
somebody with confidence, because, like you said, just because they're the best player doesn't make them a good penalty taker.
Yeah.
I know plenty of good players, and they don't want to take it because they're scared. Shout out to
Yeah.
my brother.
No, 'cause
Which
you
one?
said-
Which
you
one?
Said, you said he's never wanted to
To
take
Richard.
him.
Yeah, I think they
Nah,
just keep. I think they keep putting this on Messi, and we've seen it like in Copa America. We've seen it a different time where he misses like we're putting it on this guy that he doesn't really have that like in him to do that. Like it's okay. Like they want him to be that guy that I want. It's like, dude, he's not doesn't have that ego like Cristiano does. He doesn't have that. Like I have to. He doesn't have that. He's just more
Well-
talented and God given talent. He just has it more than
Yeah.
everybody else.
Well, I don't even think it's ego. I think so. I know I've told John this before.
Huevos.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has something to do with that. So like I've always told John before that Messi is the best player in the team, hands down. But he's never, in my eyes, he has never been, and people are gonna get offended. Sorry, he's never been
No, dilo,
the
dilo,
leader.
dilo.
No,
he's
he's
never
not a
been
leader.
like when we go back in the days, he had Puyol as the leader.
Correct.
So
Xavi.
Puyol, Xavi,
Iniesta.
Mascherano.
Iniesta.
Uh-huh. So like he's always been the best player, but he's never been the leader. So in my eyes, those guys made it easier on Messi because he didn't have to face the people. They faced the people, and then Messi, all he had to do was play. Now, if we look at all the times that Messi has been asked to be the leader and make those type of plays and score, he's always failed. In Argentina, in Barca,
Yeah.
and I think it's just not in his nature. That's it. Doesn't make him a bad player. It's just it's not in his
It's a little.
nature.
It's a little. I don't know if you want to compare. It's a little LeBron like. It's a little LeBron like where like LeBron's the best player. I know we're talking about basketball, but
That's
to me,
right,
I
that's
see
right.
it the best player on the court or in the world, right? Period. But like he doesn't demand the ball like that. Like everybody wants him to be Kobe or he wants him to be Jordan, but that's not his thing. You know what I mean? So like that's why when he was like younger, he would pass the ball off in his first 8-10 years when he went to the playoffs in a row. He would just dump it off, and it wasn't this thing where like I want it. And so I kind of see the same thing with Messi when he goes back to Argentina. We've seen it how many times he has to carry that team, and they don't have it. And you'd be like, bro, they have the best player in the world, and they have all these guys. But like you said, once they give him that, okay, you do this for us. He's not that guy. Like he's the most talented player, but
Yeah.
he's not the one that's going to say like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, let's go. I don't see him talking to the guy. I mean, I don't know. We've never been in the locker room, but I don't see him bringing them together like un Hector Reynoso or not. Just kidding. No, or like un Rafa Marquez or something like that. That's going to bring them together.
So
Oh, But I agree this is when you start like making these teams and start making them fit like a puzzle, And I
Yeah.
just don't think
Mhm.
this Barca team had it at the end. I mean, you see, Dembele had like 2 or 3 chances to put,
Sitters.
one goal away, And
Sitters.
one of them, he just gave it to the arms of Keylor, and you're like, dude, okay, they're not doing it.
yeah. No, and you know what's funny, because Rafa hit me up earlier and he goes, does Barca remonta? And I said, yeah. Me, just because they got the president that they wanted. Laporta knows that's the guy that built the team that you fell in love with. Those
Yeah.
teams, right?
But he's not playing, John.
Yeah,
He's
but
not
that,
on the field.
but that's that extra little motivation that it can give you, right? Let's go win it for this guy. Let's go show him that
But
I'll give you that they were motivated, that they were on a bit of a win streak. So, and they had already done one remontada, but I
Yeah.
just thought 4 goals away.
that's
It's
a lot.
a little bit too much, man.
I kept bringing it back to the Manchester versus PSG. I kept bringing it back because that Manchester United wasn't even playing well at all. for them
No,
to
and
remontada.
they were all subs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that,
So does Keylor Navas go down as the best goalie in CONCACAF history now?
no, I still Memo Ochoa. No, Jorge Campos.
No,
By
come
far.
on. Bro.
I think
No, we gotta stop.
for
I was
sure.
I was gonna say Osvaldo, but no, but
How?
definitely not the guy.
How?
No, I think Kaylor's the best.
But this guy, okay, because he played in Europe and he's won
But
champions.
not just where he played here, dude. He
But
played on where he played in Europe. You know what I mean? Where he played in Europe.
With who?
Real Madrid.
The biggest club in the world. Thank you. I just
You're
wanted
just
you to say
proving
that.
his point, John.
I'm not. Yeah, you proved my point. I didn't say Real Madrid wasn't the biggest club in the world. I said I
Oh,
like Barca.
Yeah.
I'm not. I said I like Barca. Doesn't mean I don't recognize that Real Madrid is the best. The biggest club in the world.
I just like Barca fans to say that.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh,
It kind of goes. Le va a Chivas, but then he goes to Real Madrid. It's kind of like y le va a la América de España. But no, like to be. Like to be honest, no, because Real Madrid is el América de España. No es el pueblo. That's not the town. That's not the
Barca either.
Before they did con la cantera, it pretty much was a little more resemblant to Chivas, but a little bit. But anyways, like what we're talking about, I was watching the game. I was watching Keylor, and I don't know if you've seen his movie. It's just like a little side, but he has a movie that's on Netflix. I saw it like in December, and it's like his whole life story. And kind of watching him, bro, I was like, I used to kind of hate on him, like, oh, he ain't that good. But I don't know, man. These last 10 years, he's definitely showed that he's the best goalie in CONCACAF for sure.
So my question is, why do we skip over Tim Howard?
because he didn't win anything.
Because he didn't play on those teams. And let's
he
look at
in United. He played in United.
Yeah, I know, but those weren't that Man United team wasn't the Real Madrid team that Keylor played for.
That's true.
And now he's with PSG, so he's doing it again. And what he did with Costa Rica, another World Cup, in 14, he was the best player on the team, bro. He carried that team, period. They were just not getting scored on. They weren't out playing nobody. They weren't getting scored on. He was a wall. And I know Memo was doing the same thing, but Keylor was definitely carrying that team, bro.
No, he was. That's another Jorge Vergara product. So yeah,
he is. He is.
Yeah,
they talk about it in the movie. Like in the movie, he credits him for selling him to Europe. When he was with Saprissa. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. No. Yeah, and I agree with everything you say, man. But with going back to the Messi thing, Juvie, I think you're absolutely right. When you compare him and Cristiano has taken out Atletico de Madrid by himself, literally by himself.
Con pase de Chicharito, first of all.
No. Against Juve.
Oh, okay. Hey, by himself. I remember that day. I remember that day he celebrated by himself. And Chicharito's the one who scored the goal. Yeah, Cristiano was in the corner by himself celebrating. I was like, what?
Yeah, but overall, man, good games. I thought it was going to be something magical tonight with Barca again, but unfortunately not. Don't get me wrong.
But it's good. I'm happy that we're getting different teams now. Like we're not seeing the same old story that we always do.
Well, yeah, and then the Porto's is a cool team to kind of get behind. Like they have like that underdog thing. I know they've already won before con Mourinho, but like just watching like Tecatito, like you said, a Mexican player be like an actual important player. He was voted the best player in Portugal last year, right? So like he's definitely the heavy hitter there. And then Marchesín, who's obviously Marchesín's Argentino, but he came from Liga MX, and he's showing that, bro, like he's balling, bro.
Mateus Uribe is out there too, man. Let's not forget about him.
No, he's a clown. He's a clown.
Yeah.
He didn't know who Chivas was. He's tripping.
So no, he knew.
He knew, and then Coutinho blocked the PK. I was at that game. But anyway.
So yeah, next week we're gonna get Real Madrid Atalanta. Which,
oh my God,
Juvie's an Atalanta fan. Look, so Juvie goes for the underdog. Juvie proudly says he's a Clipper fan, right?
Yeah, I am.
Not a lot of people say that. It's like saying you're a Kings fan. It's
no.
It's taboo, bro. Like
we have our own arena. So it's cool.
Yeah. The state. The LA Kings. They win championships, right?
They do.
Man City next week also.
Oof.
This is an unstoppable Man City. Rafa, real quick, how did you feel about the loss on Sunday?
Just bound to happen. Like I told my brother, like who's in first place and who's gonna win the league.
That's what matters, right?
Yeah, I mean,
look,
look,
they're like
United
12
scored
points
some
ahead,
goals,
right?
but Yeah, or how many? I don't know how many, but around there because they won again today in the Prem. But yeah, I mean, I'll give credit to United. They
They're
got
up
some
by
good players.
14. They're up by 14 points. Just so we know. They're
14.
up by 14
So
points.
yeah, man, that's far too much. This late in the season,
Yeah.
Well,
it's not.
Danny said, Pep Guardiola is gonna regret saying that.
No.
Okay, okay. Danny doesn't even watch the Prem, so there's no credit there.
So, hey, you know what, man? Danny's trying. He's trying to watch some of the leagues. He's made some good points as of late with me. Also, we got Lazio versus Bayern, Chelsea, Atletico de Madrid, which I had the dates mixed up, man. For some reason, I totally forgot about this Barca PSG game. I thought it was next week, so I kept telling everybody, But other than that, man, Tecatito, best player in Europe right now.
Mexican player?
For the Mexican players?
No.
I think so, man. I think quietly, like he just been doing it, like just quiet. Like we talked about, he made choices that we kind of criticized at first, but I think he was smart by not coming a lot of times to play with Mexico and just keep getting playing time over there. And quietly, just the dude, we saw him last time, and when he played with La Selección, who were they playing? Who they played the last two times? Shoot, I forgot the last friendly we
South
did.
Korea?
Holanda.
Oh,
Holanda. Dude, los hizo agua, man. Like, we ever watched that game? And it wasn't because we were just like Mexican fans. Bro, he literally, every time he got the ball, it took 3 guys, like by himself. They had to foul him every single time. And I was like, oh, this was on a different, you know what I mean? He's on a different level. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
so hopefully he can just put the Mexican jersey on.
Juve was doing that to him too yesterday. That's the only way they could stop him, just taking him down.
Yeah, we've seen it before, like with little, like, spurts, but dude, right now, these last 2 years, man, I think he's blowing it. Because Hector Herrera was that guy, but ever since he moved to Atletico, man, he's definitely not there yet.
And shout out to him, man. He just lost his mom due to COVID over the weekend, so he wasn't in the Madrid derby. But yeah, I also think that Tecatito is the best player out in Europe right now. I know people would say Raúl Jimenez last year, but like you said, looking at this, he was creeping up. Final question.
Hey, before you say your final question, I still choose Nestor Araujo.
Oh man.
How do I log out of this thing? Hold on.
No. Jimmy, go for it real quick. Why?
Look, I gotta give my defenders love, man, and yeah, Tecatito and Raúl Jimenez score. They do the fancy plays and everything, but un Araujo, it sucks. To me, like, I love him being in Celta, but like, freaking, we gotta recognize him. Like what he's done and everything. Yeah, he's not flashy. He's not gonna do something amazing like Tecatito does or Jimenez.
Yeah.
But we still gotta put him up there. At least mention him. Just bring ice to him.
Well, there's only like 5 guys. There's only like 5 guys in Europe, so it's not that hard to mention him. But
honorable mention at all.
It's not about him being a defender, because when Rafa was out there, he was the best player. It's not about being a defender. Salcedo's been out there, like, it's not about him being a defender, not being flashy. It's just when he plays con la selección, it's like, man, there's like a freeway right there, and I don't know.
Well, but you would say that about Hugo Sanchez or Luis Garcia too. When it came to the selección, they didn't perform. This is a great gateway to my final question, because I wanted to get everybody's intake on this. How do you guys feel about Mexican players going to big clubs, to small clubs, mid-table clubs like Celta de Vigo or a Genk or a Real Betis, like these guys are playing at right now, where they are getting that level of experience, right? They're duking it out with teams week in and week out. Like I mentioned on the IG page, it's 3 points that separated Granada, Atletico Bilbao, and Celta de Vigo. Celta won, Granada lost, Bilbao won, and now they're in a even level playing field for the last spot in Europa League. So would you guys rather have them in a smaller club, mid-table club that is always fighting either, I hate to say it, but relegation, or fighting for something in the middle for like Europa League, to where Hector Herrera took the he took the paycheck and he's eating bench week in and week out. When in Porto he was a captain, and as you can see, Tecatito is still growing in that team.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys know the answer to this question for me. I
Alex
like.
doesn't.
Oh well, I like. So I'm not saying that Mexican players are less, but for me, I prefer them to be mid-level, lower-level teams. Reason why is because in those teams, like they value the player, you know, and I feel like when a Mexican player has always made that jump, if he doesn't instantly make an impact, that's it. He's out, you know. And they don't really care about it because whatever they paid for that player it's chump change, you know. Yeah, it's higher than some of the other players that you could get, you know, from South America or US, you know. But to a lot of those teams, it's just chump change, you know. If they just take the player, if it works out, cool. But what I like is, you know, we've had guys like Memo, you know, Guardado, all those guys, Govea is another one, you know, like they get appreciated in those teams, and when they go there, they're allowed to grow, and 9 times out of 10, all of those guys have grown into important positions for those teams, you know, and I feel like
Good
that's
point.
where we shine as a Mexico, you know, like, okay, this is what we see, and yeah, we have those type of players like Rafa Marquez, you know, but I
Chicharo.
feel without.
Hugo Sanchez. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, but yeah, that's true. But like, I feel like, but we got to remember that before they became that, Rafa Marquez was in France.
Monaco. Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
Atletico Madrid in those days, they're not the Atletico Madrid of now. You know, like
Segunda,
we
the
got to.
segunda.
So Hugo Sanchez went to a small Madrid and then went to the big one. You know, un Chicharito, yeah, he's one of the ones that made that, you know, big impact in the beginning, but. You know, I feel like where I preferred him playing was in Leverkusen.
Bayern. Yeah. I agree.
And Leverkusen is one of those teams that, yeah, they have history, but in recent years, you know, they've been
They're fighting.
up it. Mm-hmm.
Alex?
And I feel like that's where we get value. That's
Alex,
it.
your take?
I saw a tweet and it said if it was my buddy Ivan who's a big soccer guy in Portland, and
Shout
he
out to
said
Ivan.
yeah, shout out to Ivan Sanchez, and he said if Tecatito was Brazilian, he'd be worth twice as much, and I said no, if he was Brazilian, he'd be worth 3 times as much. If he was Argentino, it'd be twice as much. So there's definitely like a marketing there, right? We get it, and so I agree with you, Hu, and everything you said. I do want them to be like, we don't, not that we say they can't play on the big team, right? Because we see like, you know, American players like, you know, McKinney, whatever his name is, West, you know, whatever his name is, he's on Juve, right? He's playing. But it's like you said, there's something about like if they go to these big clubs, the media all of a sudden is all over them. Like you said, they don't perform. I'm okay with whatever playing going. He went to, you know, to go into those teams that he went to, La Coruña and all that, starting from the bottom. I'm okay with that. Like I just think we need more of that. You know what I mean? So I just want more of that. But definitely, I'm okay with the middle group. You know, teams like you said. I don't know about lower ones, but definitely it does build something, right? It gives you character to be on those teams too, like to fight in, to not have those luxuries of like a Real Madrid and having like first class everything and going on these small teams, right? And just scrapping it out, you know. But you know, the guys just have to perform. At the end of the day, the ones that they do get sent over and that do have a chance have to step up to the plate. And I think Tecatito like that is giving a name. So hopefully Porto will continue to keep their eye on Mexico and bring another player over. You know, they've already had 2 do it, and obviously Marchesín, like you said. So like, you know, for Mexico, so it's like, you know, I think we just gotta keep getting players out there. I'm okay with the middle group. And he said it's okay to have that little jump, you know, because Rafa did that too. Young at 19, he went to Monaco. Don't forget Hector Moreno. He went to AZ, no sé cómo se llama, the team in Holanda, right? He started at the bottom también, and that's okay. You know what I mean? That's okay to do that. And you know, Raul Jimenez too. He didn't go to a small club, but they weren't cracking him in 2 teams. And now then he finally got to go to, you know, Wolverhampton, like you said, a new team that's like coming up. You know, he was the boss, you know, before he got injured, you know, so I'm okay with it.
Le están llorando todavía.
Yeah, he's still, you know, there's still, and then Guardado, you saw how they made him a legend, you know, in Holanda, you know, over there at PSV. So like those guys, you know, it's okay to jump. Like I said, I guess I agree with you. I think they just got to go find somewhere that they're going to be able to play, you know. I think, but we could say the same thing though. Linus went to a small club and he wasn't cracking it in there. He was not getting no playing time there either. So I guess we could say either way, you know what I mean? Like Linus wasn't playing at all.
but there was a Jose Crisantello in his position where he couldn't went to Leganes and he would have started undisputed starter. But I'm happy for the kid that he's actually playing now. He's getting more playing time before COVID. Now we just
Yeah.
need him to get into
Yeah,
that
and-
groove. And I agree.
and that's what I mean about like just allowing the time. That like if they would have thrown him into a bigger team, they probably would have been like, that's it, he's done.
Yeah,
You know,
Ulises
but-
Davila went to Chelsea, with the group, and they never gave him a crack. Like, oh man, you're cool, but
Mm-hmm.
go over here. Yeah. Now he's playing in Australia. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, no, man, we gotta take it easy. I think it's okay to go to like the middle group, to go somewhere where you're gonna play. I think also is the league. I think it's been proven that Mexican players do really, really well, like the way they play, the way they're formed in Holanda. They do really, really well with the 4-3-3, just open style, play. And definitely like in España, because I think the level is not that high and not that demanding like it is in England. Not saying that they can't do in England, but there's a certain type of player that can play in England, And I think obviously, también Portugal, even though we want to downplay that league, but hey, if you're gonna play, you're gonna play. You feel me? You're gonna play. So it's
Hey
fine.
man, Pollito Briseño is a legend over there.
Yeah, don't forget Gudiño played over there too. Don't forget Gudiño played in Europe for a little bit too. So players
Mhm.
can play out there.
Rafa, your take?
I agree with what Alex said. Anyone can play out there. I think it depends on the player's circumstances and how they adapt to the country and the language and everything, the culture. But I'm cool. Like what we said, as long as they're playing, that's consistent enough for me because they're gonna come back and produce for the national team at the end of the day. Like we don't want to see them eating bench, then they don't have any form. They don't, they're not happy. They don't want to come back to Mexico or whatever.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be that one player that's gonna stand out. He's gonna be that 90 overall Mexican player on FIFA. But we just have to keep working out with them back over here in Mexico, and hopefully we get one of those players one of these days.
Yeah, we will. I think JJ Macias will be the next one, and then maybe Alexi Vega, and then Angulo, and probably Antuna back.
Okay.
Look,
So we have all those guys. What's going on over here?
No, it's because they have. I agree with you. They have potential. The thing is that I feel like when you're in Mexico, you get capped. Your potential, it can get to a certain limit just because you're not tested. You need to go out
Yeah.
there and face
Yeah.
the best.
You put Alexis Vega and Holanda on some team, he'll play good, bro. Like I believe it. I do
Yeah.
believe they do get capped a little bit. They stop growing. And like
Yeah.
we're gonna tell him Macias couldn't ball out in Portugal or any of these places pretty much. I think he's the one that's most equipped, most tools to play in any of these places.
You know what? Looking at that, I think Piojo Alvarado is another one that's fully equipped to ball out over there. And it's a little bit off the wall for me, but I think he's been doing things well in Cruz Azul. I know he's had a little slump last few weeks, but
Is it the guy that you guys wanted to set in the bench couple episodes ago?
not me. Yo no
I'm
dijera
just
eso.
saying.
Yo no
I'm
No,
just
dije-
I
saying,
did it. I just want other players to play. If players aren't playing well, like John said, he hasn't been playing at the level we thought he would be at for the last 2 or 3 seasons. Why not play somebody else? But I mean, that's every individual team. Like they have to go out there. They have to go test themselves because Mexico, I feel like this is a little bit of a comfort zone for them. But at the end of the day, if they don't want to go either, they don't want to go learn a different culture or a different language, then don't go. Stay where
And
you
if
are.
they're not gonna pay him,
Yeah.
tampoco.
That's what I'm saying. If
Yeah.
they're not going to take the pickup, then stay here, but don't complain that your career didn't go the way that you wanted it to, right?
Yeah,
Even Kikín went to
pretty much.
went to Europe. You know what I mean? Don't forget.
It's
Yeah.
Seca played in Benfica.
But other than that, guys, thank you so much. I know this is a quick episode. We have kids and work the next day. I know Juby's one of those ones that as soon as we say bye, he hangs up. But Alex, thank you once again. You can go ahead and plug your show.
Oh yeah, man! Catch me on the Educating podcast. I was able to feature Johnny and Danny on there, and yeah, man, I hope to be able to collaborate a little more later on.
Yeah. For sure, you can catch this show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere. Acre, right?
Everywhere, YouTube. We're on YouTube, Twitter, everything, man.
Cool.
Instagram, everywhere.
And you can follow us on Instagram at Liga MX Podcast, PDC Euro Nights. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, anywhere you can get it. YouTube also. Thank you so much, guys. You guys have a good night.
Ale.
See you.